Once again, hello to all senior students, those who are preparing for NEET JEE after their 12th. Small glimpse of simple harmonic motion I am giving, because whether you are preparing for NEET or for JEE, on an average for NEET, 2 questions, JEE maybe one or two questions are there from SHM. And yes, particularly for NEET student, from SHM question will be of quite average level. So remember these claims, it will be helpful to you people. First of all, SHM, simple harmonic motion, should always be represented by any periodic function. So SHM can be written as, let's say, y is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, or y, or you can write down x also, a cos omega t plus phi, or y is equal to a sine omega t plus phi plus b cos of omega t plus phi. Any SHM can be represented as either by sine function, cos function, or linear combination of sine and cos. When we say linear combination, it is addition, subtraction. Yes, one more thing. Whenever we are having linear combination, this part should be same. This is SHM, this one represent SHM, and this one also represent SHM. First of all, let's analyze these equations. Here, in all equation, this entire term, omega t plus phi, this term, omega t plus phi, represents phase. Omega t plus phi phase. If you put t equal to 0, you are getting phi, so it is initial phase. Quite simple concept you people are knowing, even it is not in touch from last 1 year, but still you are knowing. Now, as far as initial phase is concerned, from question or from the wording of question, how you have to decide the initial phase. So remember, if motion start from mean position, you will take initial phase 0. Motion start from positive extreme of the path, initial phase will be pi by 2. And motion start from negative extreme, initial phase will be 3 pi by 2. Again I do repeat, initial phase can be decided by from where motion start. If motion start from mean position, what I say, initial phase 0. Motion start from positive extreme, then it is pi by 2, negative extreme, then it is 3 pi by 2, in this way. Or it may be from that uniform circular motion, from that figure, but that will go through later on. One more thing, here A represents amplitude. In first two equation, A represents amplitude, and in third equation, amplitude is, for this third equation, amplitude is under root of a square plus b square. For third equation, amplitude can be represented as under root of a square plus b square. And you will wonder to know, there was question from this simple point last year NEET. SHM was given as a combination of sine and cos. And then you in that question was asked what is amplitude. The amplitude is under root of coefficient of square of sine term and square of coefficient of sine term and square of coefficient of cos term. One more thing, this equation can be elaborated further. Yes, here in both I have written phi, but instead of that, if same equation I am writing as y is equal to a sine omega t plus b cos omega t. So in that case, amplitude will be again under root of a square plus b square. At the same time, there is initial phase term available. Although it appears that there is no phi, but yes, initial phase is available. And it will be tan inverse of b by a. Initial phase phi will be tan inverse of b by a. Again, I do repeat, whenever you are having SHM as a combination of sine and cos in this form, what I have written, amplitude is under root of a square plus b square, and initial phase phi is equal to tan inverse of b by a. Student, in this session I am only going to analyze this kind of equation only, because entire SHM I may require 2 or 3 lectures, but here we will continue this form only. Yes, further. Yes. What we have written, any SHM equation, what we have discussed, any SHM equation can be represented as sine cos or linear combination of sine and cos, because these two are periodic and harmonic function. Further, in combination of SHM, like I am having y1 is equal to a sine omega t plus phi 1. Second equation is y2 is equal to a sine omega t plus phi 2. Let's take amplitude as a1 and a2. Amplitudes are also different. y1, first SHM, I have represented as a1 sine omega t plus phi 1, and y2 is equal to a2 sine omega t plus phi 2. Now when these two superimpose for superimposition of 2 SHM, for superimposition of 2 SHM, resultant path will depend on phi 1, phi 2 as well as a1, a2. When particle, better word we will write down in this form instead of superimposition, when particle is under effect of 2 SHM. When particle is under effect of 2 SHM, then what will be resultant path of the particle? That called Lissajous figure also, but we will not go through that word Lissajous, as well as what will be resultant amplitude. So first of all, first I have written y1 is equal to a1 sine omega t plus phi 1. Second equation I have written as y2 is equal to a2 sine omega t plus phi 2. So phase difference between two, let's say it is phi, then is it phi 1 minus phi 2, or you can write down phi 2 minus phi 1. And in that case, remember, resultant amplitude A will be under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos of phi, where phi is equal to phase difference between two. Again I do repeat, when two SHM get superimposed or when particle is under influence of two different SHM, then resultant amplitude A is equal to under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus twice of a1 a2 cos phi, where phi is equal to phi 1 minus phi 2. 1. Second, what will be shape of trajectory of particle now? So first of all, remember, if I am having this value phi equals to 0, or second possibility slash pi, when two particles, when particle is under influence of two SHM, If phase difference between two SHM is 0 or pi, then remember trajectory will always be straight line. Like one motion is along x-axis and y, if we represent in xy coordinate, then trajectory will be straight line. When particle is under influence of two SHM, if phase difference between two SHM is 0 or pi, then trajectory or resultant path will be straight line. And what will be slope of this? It will be A2 by A1 in this case when phase difference is 0, or it will be minus of A2 by A1 when phase difference is pi. So when the particle is under influence of two SHM having phase difference 0 or pi, the resultant trajectory shape of the motion of particle will be straight line with slope A2 by 1 provided that phase difference 0, or with slope minus A2 by 1 phase difference is pi. Second concept, remember, when particle is under influence of two SHM having phase difference pi by 2. Next point I'll write down over here. Phi is equal to pi by 2. In that case, two possibility. Phi is equal to pi by 2. In that, for A1 is equal to A2 and for A1 is not equal to A2. Whenever you are having A1 equal to A2, it will be purely circular motion. And A1 will not be equal to A2, then it will be elliptical. Again I do repeat, when phase difference between two superimposing motion, phi is pi by 2. In that case, what I said, two possibility. If A1 equal to A2, means amplitude of both superimposing SHM is same, then it will be circular trajectory. And if A1 is not equal to A2, then it will be elliptical trajectory. And third point, for any phase difference between 0 to pi by 2, it will always be elliptical. Yes, in that further we can identify whether it is tilting in XY first quadrant, second quadrant, but that you are not supposed to prepare. So, particular student, for exam point of view, now MCQ exam, what you are going to give, remember this. Phase difference 0 or pi, in both cases, path trajectory will be straight line. Second, phase difference pi by 2, two possibility, pi by 2 with A1 equal to A2, it will be circular. And pi by 2 with A1 not equal to A2, then it will be elliptical. Yes. Now before I go through that velocity concept, remember one more. Here what entire term omega t plus phi I have written phase. And for phase, an important concept, after every oscillation, phase change by 2 pi. After every single oscillation, phase of oscillator change, or you can say increase by 2 pi. So naturally after n number of oscillation it will increase by 2n pi. What I have written, after every single oscillation phase change by 2 pi. So after n number of oscillation phase will increase by 2n pi. Now there is application of this point, that's why I have discussed. What is that? We'll discuss. Yes, what is the application of that point, change of phase by 2 pi? This question have also been asked very frequently. Concept is, let's say we are having two different oscillator. For example, simple pendulum. Oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Initially both are starting from same point, or initially both are in phase. Now, first SHM I am representing as y1 is equal to a sine omega 1t. First SHM what I have written, y1 is equal to a sine omega 1t. And second, y2 is equal to a sine omega 2t. So naturally the way I have written equation, it is clear that t1 is not equal to t2 because t1 2 pi by omega 1, t2 2 pi by omega 2. So here t1 is not equal to t2, which means they are starting in same phase, but after some time they will not be in same phase. So then after how many oscillations or after what time again this situation will attain? Initially both oscillators are starting from same point. They start to oscillate, then they will start to differ from each other because periodic times are different. After some oscillation, again they will be in this situation, means they are meeting at the same point. What is time for that? How to calculate? Now what I have written, T1 is not equal to T2. Let I will take condition T1 greater than T2. Means first oscillator taking more periodic time, it is slower. Second oscillator taking less periodic time means it is faster. So in that case, two oscillators will again meet at same point. What is condition for that? When faster oscillator complete n oscillations I'll make correct. Faster oscillator complete n plus 1 oscillation and slower completes n oscillation. Faster have completed n plus 1 oscillation and slower completes n oscillation. So how you can find out n? So here T1 greater than T2, so T1, this oscillator is slower. So n into T1 is equal to n plus 1 into T2. That's how you can evaluate Tn, correction, from omega T1, T2 are available. And once n is evaluated, you can evaluate time. Yes, when the faster oscillators complete n plus 1 oscillation, slower complete n, then they will meet it again. So in that case, n into T1 is equal to n plus 1 into T2. So either you can evaluate the number of oscillations when they are meeting or time after which they are meeting. This point is also important for your application point of view. Student, in next lecture we will continue with velocity, acceleration and energy. Again, stay at home, stay safe and be concentrated and temperamented for your NEET JEE preparation. All the best.